The news today is that Labour are shifting in their position on Brexit, and this has been flagged up as big news, but how big is it really? Basically, it's only a small shift, but it's actually very important. It's small because it's just the Labour Party saying that during the transition period, they want us to stay in the customs union and the single market. It's significant because this is the first time that Labour is saying we have a different Brexit position from the Conservatives. They are actually starting to move their position away from the Conservatives. This is so that they can oppose the government. It is a more pragmatic solution and it better reflects what people actually want. So if there is ever a general election that pops up, then Labour have got a different position from the Conservatives. And, as I've pointed out before, Labour have also indicated that they can move position with popular will, with what people want. Brexit's legitimacy is in popular will. Labour are going to be moving with that. Now, here's one key thing. The single market. So when Labour announced this today, Nigel Farage was already squealing and Labour Leave were already squealing, and the line they take is that Brexit means leaving the single market. And even this tiny transition, staying in the single market during this transition, is not enough for them, because you give them an inch with that Brexit vote, 52 to 48, and they try to take a mile, because this is not what the people wanted, leaving the single market. The claim that it was clear, and the Vote Leave campaign made it clear, and even the government made it clear, that's a testable theory if it was clear, because then it should be clear to the public and it should be clear to Leave voters. There is a poll from July 7th to 10th, 2016, done by the BBC and Comres about Brexit expectations, saying, what do you expect? 52% said, stay in the single market without freedom of movement is what I expect. 18% said, stay in the single market with freedom of movement, and 26% said, leave the single market. What about Leave voters? 35% said that their expectation was to leave the single market. That is a third, only a third of those that voted to leave that actually expected to also leave the single market. Let that sink in, because what the Vote Leave campaign did afterwards was sell this story that everyone had made it clear that we're leaving the single market. If you're a Leave voter and you actually wanted to stay in the single market, no you didn't, no you didn't, you never did it. It's a sort of Men in Black moment, just no you didn't, you never wanted that. So the important thing is that there are some hardcore Brexiteers that are trying to push us for the hardest Brexit, get out as soon as possible, but that is not what people want. That's not what people wanted before, and the Labour Party are now starting to move to better reflect what people want. And if that shifts into staying in the single market and customs union permanently, then that is on the table now as an option. And for those of you that want a second referendum on the terms or want to push to remain, then there is more opportunity for that if Labour are moving in that direction as a party.